opportunity to discuss your book, White Noise.
It's my pleasure. I would love to further explain my work of fiction to you and the others watching.
To start off, I would like to ask how you became an author.
In my early years, I never thought I would be where I am today. As a teenager, I wasn't interested in reading until I got a job as a parking attendant one summer. As a parking attendant, I spent hours waiting, watching, and parking vehicles. Therefore, with my abundance of time, I developed an intensive reading habit. This reading habit stuck with me, and it turned me into a writing habit as I got older. I also really enjoy creating meaning out of each and every word I write.
For those watching who aren't familiar with your book, White Noise, can you please give us a brief summary?
My book is about a father named Jack, who lives in a college town called Blacksmith. He is a professor at the college on the hill. He chairs the Department of Hitler Studies, yet he doesn't even know German. Jack is married to a woman named Babette, and they have 4 children: Heinrich, Steffi, Denise, and Wilder, all from different marriages. One day, Heinrich notices a toxic cloud of smoke in the atmosphere, which causes their entire town to go under evacuation orders. While evacuating, Jack discovers that he has inhaled lethal smoke, niotone D. After this discovery, he becomes infatuated with the concept of death. Jack eventually discovers that Babette is using experimental pills designed to cure her anxiety regarding death. After discussing his death issues with his friend Murray from work, Murray tells him that he needs to kill someone in order to get death out of his head. Jack decides to follow through and kill Willie Meek, the man who created the experimental pills that have consumed Babette's world. However, after shooting him twice, Jack's innate humanity kicks in and he takes Willie to the hospital. After consuming his whole mind with preventing death, Jack eventually makes peace with his fear of death after watching Wilder remarkably survive riding his tricycle across the expressway at the end of the novel.
Amazing summary. It seems like death is a prominent fear in our world today that you're able to bring to light through your book. Moving forward, which characters especially speak to you and why?
I can't pick a favorite, but Jack is the most interesting to me. Since the story is told from the perspective of Jack, readers can really delve into Jack's mind throughout the novel. The motif of death is most prevalent through Jack's experiences with inhaling the lethal chemical because it caused him to constantly fear what is going to happen, rather than to be focused on the present. Teaching Hitler studies also added to his anxiety, since he was constantly afraid of being sought out as a fraud. He puts on a persona when he teaches in order to mask his true identity and knowledge.
Fearing death appears to be a significant factor in the lives of both Jack and Babette. Can you elaborate on how this theme comes into play in your novel?
Of course! Since the beginning, there has been death and dying motifs that Jack has mentioned. However, Jack begins his extreme obsession with death after being told that he only has a certain amount of time left to live after inhaling the lethal smoke. This consumes his life and makes him dread every day because he's constantly worried about something bad happening. Death is a fear that most humans have, but Jack exemplifies the most extreme case of this fear. What happened?
The radio said a tank car derailed, but I don't think it derailed from what I could see. I think it got rammed and something punched a hole in it. There's a lot of smoke, and I don't like the looks of it.
What does it look like? Did you see fire engines?
They're all over the place, but it looks like they're not getting too close. It must be pretty toxic or pretty explosive stuff.
Am I going to die?
Not such.
What do you mean?
Well, not in so many words.
How many words does it take?
It's not a question of words. It's a question of years. We'll know more in 15 years. In the meantime, we definitely have a situation.
What will we know in 15 years?
Well, if you're still alive at the time, we'll know that much more than we do now. Nidine D has a lifespan of 30 years. You'll have made it halfway through by then.
Along with Jack, his wife Babette is also experiencing a similar struggle with coping with her constant fear of dying. She uses experimental pills as her last resort to try and overcome her inner conflict.
Another round of shots. Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Are there any other themes in your novel that arise that you want to elaborate on for us?
Another theme I'd like to look at is that children tend to be naive and usually don't understand the implications that can lead to injury or death. Most of the time, kids do anything they want to do without letting fear stop them. In order for many adults to overcome the fear of death, one must delve more into the minds of kids and learn from these qualities that they possess. This is exemplified by Jack, after his child is shockingly not killed when he rides into traffic on the expressway. He finally realizes that he must recover from the state of anxiety and fear about death and let himself breathe again. One should never live life scared of every day to come. Instead, they must live in the moment.
Out of the way, kid.
Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for your incredible responses and thank you for coming here and being with us.
That was an incredible interview. Thank you so much.
Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
Hey, what up,
Grab
girl?
my glasses, I'm out the door. I'm gonna hit this city.
Let's go.
Before I leave, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. Cause when I leave for the night, I ain't coming back. I'm talking pedicure on our toes, trying on all